back to the vlog already in progress. So last night we got the wheelchair lift swapped over on the van. We got the new higher capacity one in here. It technically works, but there's a few little things that need fixing. And I started working on that and I realized, oh hey, I should probably grab the camera. So let me show you what we're doing right now. So on these Ricon lifts, they have a little, let's see, where did it go? Well, if you notice these holes right here, there's a little bracket that goes in here and hooks on the back side of this platform. And what that does when the lift is fully stowed, it hooks in this little latching mechanism right here. But, well, as you can see, this one's been re-welded. There's a solenoid over here that actuates with a long metal bar that comes over here, and it's supposed to kick this thing forward to let the lift loose. But if you notice, let me hit the button here. You can hear the click, but this little plate's not moving. So one of a couple possible options. Well, the bus that this lift came out of was used to haul firewood for a little while, so everything's kind of messy and filled with gunk. Either the mechanism came loose over here, which happens pretty commonly, or this whole track that the metal rod goes through is filled with gunk. Now, I can kind of move it a little bit, and I can hear clicking over there, which tells me it's probably not frozen. So what I'm going to do is take this cover off, and we'll be able to see that mechanism. So since it's completely filthy in here, because we swapped the lift in a mud pit, basically, I'm going to throw some towels down. I'm going to slither in here, and then I'll show you what's going on there. Okay, so inside this housing is where the magic happens. So we're just going to pull these 3 bolts off of here real quick, and we'll be able to see what's going on in here. Ah, see this? We've got, I think I see what's going on now. We've got stuff dingling out the bottom here. I think our mechanism just came unhooked. Come out of there, washer. Ugh, I gotta vacuum all this. Oh yeah, check it out. Yeah, so this bolt's sticking out. Let's see here. I'm trying to look over the top of this. Okay, so this here is the lever that connects to the thing that I'm sitting on at the moment. Yeah, so you can't really see it. Yeah, if you look right here by my finger, see how that turns? And that turns by this thing moving. So the solenoid, oh yeah, see? Solenoid is not as attached to anything as it should be. So, looks like we're missing some hardware. I don't know if any of the pieces are down here. I'm sure it's all long since fallen out. If I hit the button on the remote right now, you'll see that thing move. I've got a technical manual for this lift, so I'm gonna, actually, first off, I'm gonna grab the vacuum cleaner and clean up a bunch of this stuff. Let me move these bolts out of the way. And then, yeah, it seems like our shaft rotates super freely, so we're good there. And these solenoids, while they are fairly strong, they don't have enough force to overcome that spring. So there's definitely some sort of mechanism that involves this bolt down here. I'm assuming there's going to be something that pivots on this, and this thing rips up on it, which will make the whole thing rotate forward like that, and push on this. But you know what they say about assuming. It means you don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna grab the vacuum, get this cleaned up a little bit, and then look at the documents and see what we can figure out. Oh, here's a random hot pink sequin. Cool. I'll be back. Alright, I just did a bunch of searching around online, trying to find service manuals and stuff, and all I found was parts lists that didn't exactly show how the pieces went together. But then I realized there's an easier way. We have the old lift sitting right here, and it uses the same mechanism, and it's right here. So we're just going to pop these bolts real quick and take a look to see how this one's set up, and if need be, we'll just rob some parts off of this one, because those mechanisms are all the same between these series of lifts And this one's not going to be going back into a van anytime soon. I'm actually going to be using it as a platform lift in the garage. So this locking mechanism isn't 100% necessary for how I'm going to be using this thing. So let's see what we got in here. Gross. Oh, weird. Wait, does that make any sense? So this solenoid just pulls up on that spring. That's weird. Wait, how does that release the latching mechanism? Oh, so this moves two directions. I was wrong. I was pushing it this way, and that actually is not what you want. It needs to move, well, apparently the other way. Oh, I see. The spring is keeping it from moving, so when the spring bends out of the way, then it can flex. Ew, and that requires almost no force. Okay, that's really easy and simple. I love it when repairs like this are stupid easy. So all you have to do is take this little wire, pull it back here, and then slip the two little halves of this through the end of the solenoid. Yeah. Easier said than done. Come on, hands, work with me. Okay, there's that side. And that side. And that's it. I can't believe how easy that is. This thing seems a little bit wobbly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go grab some pliers. And then we're going to center this up in here. And then I'm going to bend. Let's see if I can zoom in here. I'm going to squeeze these together and then use the pliers to bend these ends down, which looks like they used to be bent down, and that will lock this whole thing in place. Cool. Who would have thought? That's like a really simple but really weird solution. It's literally just using this spring to keep this from pushing back, and when you bend the spring, then it allows it to move. Huh. Well, I guess if it works, right? Let me go find some pliers. Couldn't find my needle nose, but these will get the job done. So squeeze this together and just give this a little tweak on each side. There we go. And that now locks that into place. And it's not coming off. Let's try it. Haha! Now there you can see, if you look at the bottom portion of the foot plate, when the lift goes up all the way, notice how it drops down. There we go, and now it's latched. And when I hit the stow button, that solenoid activates, releases that clip on the floor, and you'll see that foot plate pop up a little bit. So there we go. Perfect. Stupid airplanes making noise. Okay, so new lift is installed. We've got the old one sitting in here. Like I was saying, I'm going to turn this into a platform lift in the garage. So I'm going to build a big 2-foot high platform that this goes up on with extendable legs that fold down. And then I'll be able to use this thing to lift power chairs up off the ground when I'm working on them. And that'll make things a lot easier. So I got a lot of wiring to do. I need to get rid of this stupid wired remote. And also I need to put a switch over here so I can control the platform from the outside. Because this is one of the commercial attendant lifts. And as you can see, there's no switches anywhere on it. Compared to that one, see how there's a switch on that handle there? The only interlock this one has is this seat belt right here. Oh, apparently this button was stuck. Yeah, there we go. It's not exactly good for solenoids. Did I overheat that thing already? Sounds like it's having trouble. Dang it. I didn't realize that switch was stuck. But yeah, we got to get rid of this remote. We're going to hook it into the wireless control system that I have. That's this rattling sound you've been hearing because they're around my neck. But this is the only interlock it has right now. So I'm going to repurpose the wires that go to this to install a switch there. And we'll use those same wires to... actually, that may not work. I don't know. Regardless, I'll be changing this. I'll be changing some things up and making this thing work better. And also cleaning the carpet, apparently. All this working in here has kind of made a mess of everything. But at least we have a functional lift now that has all the weight capacity I could ever need. Dang it. I think we messed up something with that solenoid. This switch was stuck on, and I think the solenoid might have overheated. It's not actuating. Well, at least I can reach I can reach this cover to take it apart from the outside here. I don't know. I might just let it sit for a while and cool down. I'm sure it probably just overheated or something. Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing too. I still need to put the cover back on this, but before that, this wiring needs to be addressed. The old connection point to the old lift was actually down here, is where the battery connection was. So the cable wasn't long enough, so we had to run this temporary one up here. And I'm a little bit OCD about wiring, and this is just a mess down in here. So I'm going to be... Oh, it looks like our battery coating got rubbed on there a little bit. I'm going to make sure there's a ferrule installed on the floor there so we're not cutting holes in that wire. Then I'm going to be installing a terminal block down here to power the rest of the stuff, and also a new cable to go up to the lift and get rid of these blobs of electrical tape and everything. Because, oh, whoops. Guess I need to attach that too. Yeah. So that solenoid mechanism is a little bit more insane than I thought. I had to take the cover back off because something got jammed in there. Let me put the camera in there and activate the lift to show you how it actually works. It's a little bit surprising. To recap, the way this works is this solenoid pulls up on this wire so this latch can move free. But watch what happens when it's actually in operation. So I'm not quite sure why it was designed that way, but they've been using this on all their lifts like pretty much forever. So I guess we'll leave it be, but it's just strange that they're using this spring in compression to hold the mechanism. I mean, it's not a crazy amount of load, and the hydraulic cylinders still have pressure in them. I mean, unless you've used it for like a week or something, but that's just really strange. And the way it like flops around and stuff, whatever. I mean, it works now. Okay, this fan is loud. Can you hear that? Back away from the laptop. So yesterday I was headed back to the storage unit, get the thing swept out, get my lock removed, and basically be completely done with it, and pick up the last item that was in there, which was the wheelchair lift, which is, well, the one we just put in the van. We went to pick it up, and my friend was like, hey, do you want to just jam this thing in there right now? I was like, jam a wheelchair lift in quick? Okay. We'd already kind of figured out a game plan of how to do it last week. So, had some time, it wasn't raining, figured we'd put the thing in there. I didn't have any cameras with me, so I just shot a few random clips with my phone throughout the process. So I'll just play you those now. And then I'm gonna go back outside and show you underneath the van with everything roughly finalized or how I want it to be. It's an empty storage unit. Came with the stains that it came with. No holes in the ceiling. All right. The floor seems a little more warped in the middle area than it is on the outside edges there.
Not so much here.
Or here.
Right.
Right there. Yeah, so I think we're going to remove that strip because it's sort of a concave thing. And we want the new lift to be as flat as possible. Yeah, is. Pretty good chunk of stuff.
Fling it into the mud.
Yes. Is that one lighter than the other one somehow?
I think so. Or at least the other one that we...
Well, doesn't have bolt. Well, I guess this one has bolts dingling down on the bottom too.
Both of them are lighter than that one. Perfectly balanced.
Seems to be doing something.
4 straps barely hooked on.
All right.
Oh, that was awesome.
Good stopping point. Just shove the whole thing towards the back an incy bit. There we go.
Ooh. That seems like a thing, huh?
Yeah.
Ready for some cornbread?
Yeah, then we'll ponder spacer bars after this in the back. I'm going to do some modifications to the carpet. There was just barely enough clearance for the lift to get past there. So we're cutting the foam out, and then we're going to use some Tech screws to hold it down so that the bottom edge of the lift doesn't interfere when it goes past.
So, frame. Got 1, 2, and then like 3, 4, and then your bolts are coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I got you.
So I could just do like this is like totally easy to have something really rigid,
Yeah.
stiff like that, and then this one, I still could go like this still.
Or what do you think about? Do we have a piece of flat bar that's long enough to just pick up all those 3?
Yeah, so it's either I could go find something that's 30 inches.
Yeah.
And do like.
Oh yeah, because then we can pick up that other one.
30-inch thing, or even a 24-inch, like a 24-inch piece would work. I'm using my tape measures if it's.
Or even if we could pick up
drawn to scale.
enough to get those 3,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, I guess we have that middle one I forgot about. Yeah.
So
I guess
if
just see what's back
like
there.
Something.
Okay. Okay, so the front row of bolts is in, but the problem we're having is we have to brace up the back row of bolts so that all the load isn't on the floor, so the lift isn't flexing the floor of the van, because it wasn't exactly designed for that. So this drawing here kind of represents the frame rail of the van if you're looking at it from the bottom. And there's 4 random threaded bolts sticking out of the frame. Originally, my thought was to just get some angle brackets and drill through the side of the frame, but it's a fully boxed frame with no access holes whatsoever. So we're going to try and pick up some of these bolts using some big flat bar, and then we got super long bolts that go all the way down through the floor, through the lift, down the full height of the frame, and then we'll tie those in to the existing bolts that are on the frame. I'll try and get a picture when it's done. It's a little bit hard to explain, but yeah. We're doing some rummaging in the steel yard right now to see if we can find some stuff that's about the right size. So professional, they're even painted. I suppose I should probably show underneath the van and how everything's tied together. I don't know, I've got this little light, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to see everything. But bear with me, I'll kind of show you, or I'll walk you through what we did. Well, welcome to the bottom of the van. So the front half of the lift is just bolted directly onto the floor here. And this van had a UVL under it before, so this floor was kind of modified a little bit to attach a UVL, but the front row closest to the door doesn't actually have much load on it, so there isn't a lot of like shear rotation. It's mostly just for positioning the lift, so it's not too big a deal. But the issue we were having, since the van wasn't designed to have stuff bolted directly to the floor. The back row of bolts, which you can see these super long studs going up here. There we go. So you can see the super long studs going up here. That's attached to the back row. And the problem was, since the floor of this was not designed for that rotational load, the floor was flexing a little bit. The old lift was tacked in by a professional, but it's not something that would have been good for a long term. So what we decided to do, there was these random threaded bolts sticking down out of the frame that the UVL used to be mounted to. So we made up these angle brackets here, and we picked up those bolts that are solely mounted in the frame. Sorry about the shadows. And then we made these brackets to spread the load out to basically brace that back side to the frame. My thought was originally we could just put some brackets on the side of the frame, but as you can see, the frame is fully boxed and there is no access holes anywhere in this thing. So figured this was the best way to do it. I'm probably going to add some conduit spacers in here, because as you can see, it's hard to point, but you can see our bolt goes up and it just comes directly through the floor. I would like to get some more clamping load to the floor itself, and then have that come down and be triangulated on the frame. Well, triangulated is not the right word, but basically I just want to add a piece of conduit that is going to squish between here and the floor. That way the floor is pressed up against the lift, the whole thing's tied together, and then we get the anti-rotation force from these brackets here. I mean, as it is right now, it's like stupid strong, but I just want to I want to do a little bit extra to make it as strong as possible. But as you can see, it turned out to be a pretty clean installation. The brackets weren't too hard to make and get everything bolted in here. And we got some nice thick fender washers here. But yeah, we're slowly getting this van to where it's set up to be used and not gonna have to worry about stuff breaking as much. Knock on fake wood. Look, a shelf installed itself and the plants are on it now. So I think that's the last video in the new van series for now. Everything's pretty much set up how I need it. I can use the van daily, it's reliable. Granted, I still need to do some wiring and clean up a few things, get the remote system set up properly so that I can just use one remote instead of carrying around a pile of them. But I'll probably just include that in a future vlog. I'm not super pressed for time to get that done. I mean, I'll probably do it sometime in the next few days because, well, reasons. Not that I need things to do. The garage needs to be cleaned and all that as well. But yeah, I think for now we're going to call that good. New van is finally up and running, and it's kind of crazy. It's like, oh yeah, I bought a $7,000 van, which was perfect. And then all we do is spend a few more $1,000 messing with things, installing stuff, getting it set up just right. But to be honest, even when you buy a brand new wheelchair van, you still have to spend more money and modify things because each person's needs are different and everybody's chairs are different. Oh, I guess I still have to put the easy lock on the floor. So maybe there will be another part to this video, but that's not going to be anytime soon. The Quantum 4 front is still in timeout here in the corner. With all the stuff going on right now, nobody's calling me back. I was supposed to have a replacement for that chair 2 weeks ago, but I started that process in June, I just realized. I don't know how long everything is going to be on fire right now, all over the place, but I'm getting the feeling it might be pretty close to a full year before I have a new usable chair. Now, again, people are like, Dan, you have a wheelchair, you have a garage full of wheelchairs, why don't you just use one of those? Well, I require pretty custom seating. Like, my proportions are not typical. I mean, I'm 6'1", but my legs are really short. And the way my spine is curved and everything, I've got to have really specific seating and stuff that's beyond the scope of what I can fabricate easily in the garage. So yeah, I may be sitting in this C300 right now, and it works. The Amy systems, I got that set up, so when I'm running around outside, or driving around in the van, I can use that thing. But again, it's not really set up for me. And it's been a long time since I've had a chair that properly supports my back and everything. I'm trying to avoid a spinal fusion in my lumbar spine, actually in the middle. Oh no, dang it, I waited too long. I had a whole playlist queued up on my Chromecast. I hate it when it times out like that. But yeah, I'm trying to be careful and pay more attention to what I'm doing with things. Like, yeah, I can get on the floor and I can do things, but I need to have a chair that actually supports me and was built for what I'm supposed to do. All the stuff in the garage, like I said before many times, is just for like research testing, helping people fix stuff and things like that. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in another day or two. We have an exciting conclusion to the Maglite revival saga. That's going to be in the next vlog, as well as other random bits of things. But yeah, see you guys later.